The Prime Minister of Israel don't finally send a message to the southeast part of Nigeria. Like, I don't know that all these messages, all this write-up, and I believe that this particular message will be from Mike Arnold that conveyed this particular message to get to the Prime Minister of Israel. Just pay attention and watch the video. In fact, that Biafran's cry have reached the Prime Minister of Israel. In fact, no be me talk amo. I'm not promoting anything. So I just here to give you the latest update concerning what is actually going on. Just take your time, watch the video. What you'll be seeing here is that a message to Biafrans, you understand, from the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu. And also, he nominated some people that will be in charge of any country that Christian genocide or Christians are being oppressed. Just take your time and watch the video and see the next step now they have actually prepared to carry out now. Just watch. Do not forget to share the video for other people to be aware. Just watch, guys.
Today being the third day of the month of May of 2026, we have a latest update for you, a big one. As we speak, Israeli president don't appoint a new envoy. He don't appoint somebody, a man that will work closely with other Judeo-Christians, a man that will work closely with other Christians, including, that is Christians, where they go through prosecutions, including people like Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and the rest. How will this help the case of Mazi? Well, in this video, we do our very best to dissect them, analyze them, and showcase every single thing within the context of things. Still, we have other news and updates for you. Message from Israel Prime Minister to Biafrans. Which message does Netanyahu have for you and I? Take a look at this. This is coming from a man known as Mr. Benga, who lives in US and Israel. He states, and I quote, Benjamin Netanyahu, after I liberate the Jewish people, I will go to Africa to help liberate black people. That is to say, after he don't liberate his country, he will do his very, very best to liberate Africans, liberate Nigerians from all forms of neo-colonialism. When we see that post, we still have to do some fact-checking. And we come to say, this is coming from Gov.il, a major website in Israel. PM Netanyahu's statement at the African Summit. He said, after I liberate the Jewish people, I will go back to do it to help liberate the black people. This is a massive, massive one, as you can see right here on your screen. What do you think of Prime Minister Netanyahu liberating the African people? Do you think he has the will to do so? Do you think he has the mandate to do so? Well, we'll only find out in time. News number 3. Dr. Ngozi Rabuize to visit Sweden. As we speak to you, the Deputy Prime Minister of the Biafra movement, in the person of Ngozi Rabuize, which they show right now on your screen, is planning or has planned a trip to go to Sweden. How did we know? Well, as of early hours of today, we got a notification from one of our very close pal, Amicable. She states, join us as we welcome our DPM, Dr. Ngozi Rabuize, to Sweden tomorrow, being the 3rd of May, 2026. This is a massive one. Ngozi Rabuize will be live in Sweden. How is this even important? Why would I travel to Sweden, play any role? Well, take a look at this. Sweden played a significant, often unofficial role during the Nigerian Civil War from 1967 to 1970, characterized by large-scale humanitarian aid from Nordic churches and controversial military support from Swedish individuals like Count Carl Gustaf von Rosen, while the Swedish government remained officially neutral. Swedish civil society mobilized heavily, leading the second largest airlift in history to break the Nigerian blockade. So as you can see, Sweden as a country played a massive, decisive role for Biafrans. But there's something you and I need to know. As of today, we got a message from Sweden. If you live in Sweden, please confirm what I'm about to show you. Breaking. A hand grenade was found on a busy street in central Malmö, Sweden this afternoon. A controlled explosion was just carried out on the scene by the authorities. To the observe, say, inside Sweden, they observed a handmade grenade. So if you live in Sweden, in Malmö, Sweden, please confirm this news coming from Visgrad 24, which happens to be a verified news source inside Sweden. Why are we showing this to you? The DPM will be Sweden, and it's important that people know the security level of that country they are visiting. Nigeria will not tell you which country they're on the red map. They're on the red mapping. They won't tell you like the USA. But it's good that when we see news about countries that people like leaders of the Biafra movement are going to visit, we should brief you and tell you how they be. So, a hand grenade was seen recently in Malmö, inside Sweden. Please, if you live around there, help us verify and fact check that piece of information. Now, let's take a look at news number 4, the biggest for the day. Israeli president appoints new envoy for Nnamdi Kanu. Wait till they really happen. Well, as we speak to you, on the 30th of April of 2026, we got a massive revelation. It will be that revelation. Let me show you. Israel appoints its first ever special envoy to the Christian world. Foreign Minister Gideon surnamed George Dick, an Arab Christian diplomat and former ambassador, to deepen Israel ties with Christian communities worldwide. A great move. So Israel don't appoint somebody we go to watch and safeguard Christians who are under persecution. When we see that particular news, we weren't very too sure of the source. We had to do some fact checking, and we got something from Israel-owned news outlet that said Israel appoints its first special envoy to Christian world, as you can see right here on your screen. This is a big one, and this is the man who has been appointed to be the envoy to Christians who have been persecuted. This is the first time in history that Israel will appoint somebody to play this role. What is currently going on? Well, this whole thing is going to assist the issue of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Before I show you how you go assist Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, there are some things you need to know. Gideon Sar's appointment by George Dick, an Arab Christian and former ambassador, to a role focused on engagement with Christians globally, is clearly meant to do it and improve outreach to Christian communities worldwide, strengthen interfaith and diplomatic ties, highlight religious diversity within Israel. That part is significant, especially because George Dick's background as an Arab Christian Israeli diplomat makes him a unique bridge future. This is massive. So how will this even help the case of Mazi? How will this propagate his message? Well, let me break it down for you one after the other. The very first one, awareness and narrative building. The appointment of an envoy will do it in engage global Christian groups, highlight issues affecting people who identify with Judeo-Christian causes.
And some of us are calling for America to come in and take over our country, bomb us, cage us, divide us. We are in trouble too. Under Trump, nobody should take America for granted.
Petrol prices are rising across Nigeria. Gas prices have jumped by almost 50% in Europe. And all this is happening because of
that Trump shouldn't have gone as far as he has gone. If anyone told you that Japan can defeat Soviet Union, as big as Soviet Union is during the World War, you will have argued.
What should you expect? Well, calm down. Let me explain.
So they not they fear Donald Trump like this. I don't know. Watch to the end. The end side you go here where they not they talk all those things. They not don't they give Donald Trump warning, and they give all the Christians will be say where they tell Donald Trump may they come Nigeria to divide the country. Say they don't want anything like division.
The United States and Israel are igniting a fire that could engulf the entire world. Iran's foreign ministry spokesperson Ismail Bangay also called on the international community to intervene by fulfilling its responsibility before it is too late. Biko, here we are. Talks broken down. Now, put this into proper context, okay? Tell us why the talks broke down.
I think as far as the Iranians are concerned, it is their right to develop, to acquire nuclear capability.
Okay.
The Americans didn't want to see Iran reach uranium, even though they said, look, we are doing it for domestic use. We're doing it to power our cities and all that, but they fear that Iran having nuclear capability in that region is potentially dangerous. A lot of the Arab states around Iran, they do not like Iran.
Okay.
Iran cannot say it like Saudi Arabia, for example. They are Shiites. The Saudis are Sunni, just like many of the countries around them. So that distrust is there. And America has allies in that region. America doesn't want the sort of thing that happened with Saddam to happen to any of his allies. When Saddam acquired military capability and began to threaten neighbors, Saddam began to kill his own people with nerve gas, chemical weapons. In fact, one of his aides then was nicknamed Chemical Ali because he was the one delivering those weapons to kill the Kurds and people in northern Iraq. So they believe that, given that Iraq always says it's committed to the destruction of the state of Israel, if it is allowed to declare, to develop nuclear capability, it can use it against Israel.
Okay.
So that is that. But just as President Clinton said in one of his videos that I watched last night, yes, Iran can be really Iran can really frustrate you when you are involved in negotiating with them. But he still felt that Trump shouldn't have gone as far as he has gone. They were managing them, despite the fact that Iran was not fully cooperating with the Atomic Energy Agency, to inspect their sites and make sure that they are not reaching uranium up to the level that it can be developed into nuclear weapon. So that is that. But I still believe that this kind of war, especially at the state where we are, we see war when it starts, but we never can tell how it ends. If anyone told you that Japan can defeat Soviet Union, as big as Soviet Union is during the World War, you will have argued. But this was what happened. If someone told you that Ukraine, after 4 years,
will still be
in battle with Russia, you must have heard that after 1 week, you bring them to their knees. But they've defied him. They defied him, and they continue to put their lives on the line. And we have not even reached the door-to-door phase of the war, because when you finish fighting in the air, you have to put boots on ground. It now becomes urban warfare. You cannot hold that city unless you are prepared to put boots on ground. That is usually the most difficult phase. That's when people die. If you ask the Americans, the Battle of Fallujah in Iraq, they lost so many of their fighters because in Fallujah they were killing troops. They then decided, okay, this Fallujah, we want to take it over. They committed troops. In the end, they took it over, but it cost lives. Because it was urban warfare. You will know when somebody could be hiding up there and a sniper will just take aim at you. So now, that is the way these guys are talking. By the time they lob missiles into even oil installations in Saudi Arabia and other people, many people believe that this war is just simply Trump's war and this, and they will know that the world will be affected. That's why I agree with the Iranian leader that this is the time for the UN to come in. although they are talking tough, but I'm telling you, if the UN comes in and tries to solve this problem, they will be happy. Because they are losing people, they are losing their generals, they are losing innocent people. People who have no business. And the way the war is going, now you heard the story today of the sinking. The U.S. sank the Iranian submarine. 180 persons were on board. As at the time we started our meeting at 4 o'clock, more than 80 of those sailors had died. Because it is a disproportionate war, as I said 2 days ago. Israel alone is formidable enough to take on Iran. Yeah. But America has the best navy in the world, has the best air force in the world, and they are facing a country, and that country is not getting support from anywhere. Because even you can see a lot of the weapons were supplied by Russia, but Russia has refused to come in. Yeah. So there has to be a way to end this war. And the Americans, I was surprised. I thought that Trump needed congressional approval to even go to war. I'm surprised that Trump has just been left alone, just like that. And what Trump does not know is that in terms of the armaments being expended on this war, is a lot cheaper for the Iranians than it is for the Americans.
Yeah, the Americans are spending big because of it.
A Patriot missile,
to transport it.
A Patriot missile costs about $3.75 million to produce one. Whereas one drone, a suicide drone that the Iranians are deploying costs less than, in some cases, $12,000.
Really?
Yes, I look at the disparity. So they have a lot of those missiles that they are firing. And some of the Arab states, the Gulf states, they are expending a good number of the air defense systems that they have. What if they run out of those defense systems? What will happen? A lot of destruction will happen because the antidotes, they have expended all the antidotes that they have because they were not expecting this level of escalation. Yeah. If you ask them, the UAE, Bahrain, they didn't know that these people will fire at them. And if it continues, how many air defense systems do they have in place? So the way I'm seeing this war, honestly, nobody knows how, but the world is suffering already. People are suffering. Aviation has almost collapsed. In most of the countries affected, people can't fly. And many people's lives depend on flying. So what do? The UN has to step in and find a way to solve this problem. This is my view.
The UN have to step in. Now, the claim about the conflict engulfing, the world, the entire world. Are you worried?
It has already engulfed the world. It's not about today. It is the extent that we need to discuss now, and that's why the UN is. It's not as if the UN cannot get involved, but some people are above the UN. That's just the truth.
You think the UN is toothless here?
No, when America is involved, the UN is toothless because they have not issued a statement. They will just be talking, but they can't go direct and talk to. Well, if it is Nigeria now, you will see Amnesty International bragging, issuing statements, threatening to report us to UN that there will be sanctions. But who will bail the cat now that US is involved? Now, there is this Strait of Hormuz. The closure of that Strait of Hormuz to vessels alone, the volume of crude oil, gas, and hydrocarbons going from that place to Asia, for a master vessel now, the cost has jumped from $200,000 to $400,000 per day.
Because they have to take longer routes.
Longer routes. Now, sweet Brent, that's Nigeria's equivalent of burning
Bonnie Light.
Bonnie Lights.
Lamborghini, of course.
Yes. from $62 in less than a week has gone to $85 per barrel. We've just had $100 naira increase in our own pump price.
Yes.
We should be prepared. If this continues, it will go higher. So we should not blame Dangote, because as the crude oil price goes up, but I pray that this time around, Nigeria, the managers of our economy, Cardoso and Edu, will be able to grow our reserves higher, because
but
we will earn more.
we earn more.
Inflation will
Inflation too will come and
will pay more for fuel.
Now, to de-escalate this crisis, what alternative diplomatic channels do you think, if any?
No, both countries should stop this nonsense of saying, "Oh, talks have ended." I've seen wars where the people fighting were the ones calling for intervention. I've seen wars. That same Arab world. Yes, I've seen wars in that same Arab world, where at a point they started saying, inviting the UN and other people.
Please come and separate
us.
You
know, there are some fights, some local fights.
When you think you can defeat that person,
at times they will.
Table turns.
There will be some people will be saying, don't fight. No, they will say they want to fight. Okay, if you start the fight,
leave them alone.
Now you leave them. They will be begging, please come and separate us. I think, but in the case of because of ego,
yes,
I doubt if that will happen in this case, because I saw the U.S. Secretary of Defense today talking tough. Although some of these two could be propaganda.
Yes.
Because there's propaganda in war.
War is
where I say if any Ayatollah, any leader emerges again, they will hunt and kill him, as long as it's coming from the radicals.
Okay.
But then, if you don't have boots on ground, it will be difficult for you to effect a regime change. You can't effect a regime change from the air, from air back.
As I've said during the their goal, their number one goal is not regime change.
Yeah, but
their number one goal, their number one, even
the nuclear
has already said that their goal is let Iran stop the nuclear program.
No capacity. Yeah.
The ultimate goal was not really regime
exactly.
It was that because they believe that as long as they have it, they are a
threat to the neighbors,
and they don't want them to be a threat to Israel especially, because Israel is their number one ally in that whole region. So that's the thing. It's just like China trying to move against Taiwan.
Yes,
America would not agree. Because they are their long-time ally. You must not touch Taiwan. If you touch Taiwan, it can be war.
It can be.
You know. So this is the thing. They want to protect Israel as much as possible. And Iran is the country that constitutes the biggest threat to Israel. Their their arsenal of missiles is tremendous.
Yeah, it is.
And Israel knows that they are supersonic missiles. They've been working on it for years.
They fired a missile that went to hit the British in Cyprus, 2,000 miles away.
Yes, they have long range missiles.
The world is by now aware of the fact that 2 days ago, the United States of America and Israel attacked the state of Iran, killed its leader and a number of very senior political and military officers, as well as a number of other citizens. In the last 48 hours, therefore, with the entire region in the Middle East and neighboring countries has been aflame, fights, rockets, and the world has sat up. This event was foreseeable, and one can say, given by the precedence of President Trump and Israel, almost inevitable. Clearly, the United States had decided to effect regime change, meaning removal of the entire leadership of Iran, and maybe installing a different one, or giving a chance to the citizens of Iran to choose who will next govern them. Unfortunately, it doesn't work as neatly as leaders like Trump think. What we're likely to have is what we're beginning to see now. A lot of chaos, prolonged crisis, both within Iran and around it, and a lot of uproar around the world. We don't expect anybody in the world to challenge what America and Israel have done. They've done this before, and the way things look, they are likely to do so anytime. What this attack has done is to reinforce the perception that exists right now, that there is no world order. The world has the order of the strong, and the weak has no order, and he has no reprieve, he has no recourse to anything except to run away from the strong or to submit to the strong. We have a large population of Shia in this country, and there are millions and millions of Shia and followers of Iran all over the world. They will obviously present what had happened and take steps to see what they can do to salvage what is left of the Iranian revolution, Iranian country, the Iranian leadership, and maybe to rebuild Iran. No one can say what would happen in the next few weeks. What we do know, and what we should be aware of in this country, is that America also has an interest in Nigeria. It has said so. It has already sent a bomb in our country. It says it will attack us. It says that it will encourage massive changes in the way we live with each other, largely along Muslim-Christian lines. Under Trump, nobody should take America for granted. So we are in trouble too. But this is not the kind of trouble that will just come in one day and go. Nigerians who are happy that America could go into another country, kill its leaders, or pluck them out, and embark on massive changes or hope that changes will occur, should look into the history of American involvement in other countries. So let's make a number of things very clear. Our leaders should condemn what Iran and Israel have done in Iran, and should do so very clearly and unequivocally. We do not support an activity, an action undertaken by one country against another. 2, we should demand that the international community stands up to condemn what America and Israel have done. 3, we should be very careful about the way we relate to America. If we continue on the path of disunity, and some of us are calling for America to come in and take over our country, bomb us, cage us, divide us, then we should read the history of countries that have done the same thing to America, for America, against our country. We are in danger, and we should say to the Americans, what you've done in Iran is condemnable, and Nigeria will not tolerate any more involvement of America in our affairs.
I go like me wanna drop on our thought at the comment section. What do you think about everything where they go on right now for our country, Nigeria? On I think say within Donald Trump they do is the right thing to they fight Iran, or I think say Ingo far according to within the news analyst talk, or what do I think? And even this not man where they talk say me they calm down. What do I think about within talk? So drop on our thoughts at the comment section. Your opinion is really needed, and share this video so that other people go just drop their own opinion on the comment section, and don't forget to click the subscribe button for more updates. Thank you, my lovely people.